The idea of moving his family's 150-year-old log home is one that Dr. Max Stinson agreed to with mixed emotions.
I know my great-grandfather built this cabin, and of course this is the original structure, and as his family grew, he added on other sections of the house, and I understand he was quite a gentleman farmer.
Sometime in the 1950s, all of the additions that had been made over the decades were torn away by a tornado, leaving only the original one-room, two-story structure. Dr. Stinson and his family spent Thanksgiving night in the house this past November for a kind of farewell ceremony.
There's no electricity, no street lights, and about 4:30 it was dark and cold. So we got a taste of it.
Any noises from the woods?
Very much so.
Let's take a look upstairs, come on.
Okay. Of course, it has deteriorated, obviously, with the chinking. This is very unusual, and I understand this is sort of unique in the sense that there's not many like that. That's sort of, I guess, original design. I'm not sure of that, but
not something you'd run up and down very
Right.
quickly in the morning.
No.
Sometime in the upcoming weeks, a man who knows a lot about old log homes, Jack Crouch, is going to carefully take this log home apart, log by log, and then carefully reconstruct it near a Hoover school as part of a hands-on history exhibit for school children. This is what the Stinson family log home looked like in January when we paid our first visit. Here it is last week, after Jack Crouch and his crew dismantled all but the original 4 walls and the floor and ceiling joists. But Crouch says the first thing he did was mark the logs using his own numbering system. All of these markings, I guess, are to put the jigsaw puzzle back together again?
That's correct. What we normally do once we strip the cabin down is we'll form an A, a B, a C, and a D side, and then we take little waterproof tags like you see here, and we'll go to the end of the log and place the tag like A1. If you're standing here, this would be the A side, and that's the first log to your right.
Crouch rigged up some ropes to show how the people building the log cabin back in around 1850 or so got the logs into place.
What they would do is take these things and put them out here and put a mule on the other side there, and they would pull the logs. Once they got up to where they couldn't reach with their hands to put them in place, they would just slide the log up there and flip it in place. If it didn't fit real good, then a man would have to build him a little ladder and get up there and do a little carving on the corner to make it fit like you see here.
Now, when Crouch and his crew actually take the cabin apart, they won't use this rope system. They'll be more modern and use something like a front-end loader. One bonus to the search came when the front doorstep was pried up. 3 pennies, one of them older than the state of Alabama itself.
That's 18. That one is 1819.
Wow.
And then there was one that was 1847 and one that's 1848. They're not in mint condition, as you can see. They're just very poor to fair condition, but it is quite a find for an old place like this.
That also helps you be successful.
this odd-looking thing over here in this piece of wood?
That's a corn cob. When they would chink a home or a cabin with a mud, they would a lot of times put corn cobs in it because it acted as a filler. And also, the corn cob was very dry, and it would help set the chinking inside the log.
This old wood is a kind of living history book, telling its story through its rings.
Here is one of the original logs, Tim. You can see the pith, and you add about 2 or 3 years to the pith and you get out to the first growth ring. We'll just assume the old home was built in the 1840s or 1845. That would be 1846, 1847. You get out here in the 1850s, you can see that the growth rings are very close together, which means they had some pretty severe droughts back in those days.
What happens next in the project is a cedar shake roof. Then the windows and doors go up, and then the work begins on the interior. When all the work's done, the old new cabin will serve as an educational tool for children, and maybe for some adults as well.
Well, the outhouse is a two-holer. We call it a two-holer. Of course, the moon is a designation for the ladies and the star for the men. And we didn't want to build two outhouses, so we just made this a two-holer, and it could be used by the ladies and the gentlemen.
Is it functioning?
Oh, it's very functional, yes. Very functional.
Did you put an old Sears catalog or something?
I think we've got a 1898 Sears and Roebuck catalog, and of course a few corn cobs for it.
What's this behind you here?
This is a smokehouse. We've got to chink it because you don't want all your smoke coming out.
Right.
And up in top of it is some little ridge poles. And that's where the hams and the slabs of bacon and various things. It was used quite often at hog killing time when meat was salted and so forth and then smoked.
Will this actually function?
Oh yes, we'll
You're gonna be smoking meat.
Oh yeah, we've got a couple of people who still know the art of smoking meat, so we're going to get them up here and let them give an exhibition for us.